Welcome back to Active Directory Interview Preparation Part 2. Define Domain Controller and its three functions. Domain Controller is a Windows Server machine that runs ADDS, Active Directory Domain Services, that control the domain. You may have multiple domain controllers that all have copies of the same AD database and all replicate information from same AD database. DCs work as a pairs. Multiple DCs used for load balancing and fault tolerance. Three functions of domain controller. Authentication function to verify IDs. Machines send credentials to get approved and get access. Authorization starts after authentication. ID need to authorized by domain admin, which send a packet back to machine with set of access limitations, what you can do and what not. Audit function helps you to keep check and track machine workings. Define load balancing and fault tolerance. Load balancing is used to distributing the workload across multiple DCs or server to improve the performance and reliability. Fault tolerance refers to the ability of a system, computer, server, network, etc., to continue operating without interruption when one or more of its components fails. What is sysvol and ntds.dit? Also four partitions of ntds. Sysvol refers to a set of files and folders that resides on the local hard disk of each domain controller in a domain and that are replicated by the FRS, File Replication Services. ntds.dit, New Technology Directory Services. NTDS is a database that stores AD data, including information about user objects, groups, and group members. For partitions of NTDS, schema, configuration, domain, application. Schema is a definition of classes and attributes. Microsoft not recommend to make changes in schema. Created by default and schema partition is forest-based. Configuration is an Active Directory layout or skeleton of your AD environment. Configuration partition is forest-wide. Example, forest equals 1, domain equals 8, DC equals 10. Domain contains objects information. Domain partition is domain-wide and changes are at domain level. Application partition contains information regarding third-party softwares that you install. Other than AD, anything you install. Third-party vendor. DNS is also example. Application is also domain-wide. Explain AD5 FSMO roles and their functions, also how and why to seize these roles. FSMO, Flexible Single Master Operational, roles are used for running of Active Directory. Schema Master role controls all updates and modifications to schema. Update schema changes everywhere in the forest. Affects forest-wide. Domain naming master role permits or allows you to create any new domain or delete existing domain. When a new domain is added to a forest, the name must be unique within the forest. Affects forest-wide. PDC emulator is most important role. Perform 3 jobs. Responsible for time synchronizing within a domain. It is also the password master for a domain. Logon request is passed to PDC emulator to check password before rejecting the login request. Also perform the job of GPO, group policies objects, updates. RID master role, create unique IDs within a domain. When an object is creating in AD, it is assigned with a SID, secure ID. RID master role, creates 500 poles of SID. When moving objects between domain, you must start the move on the DC, which is the RID master of the domain that currently holds the object. Infrastructure master role, keep track of object movements from one domain to another. The global catalog is used to compare data as it receives regular updates for all objects in all domain. Define parent and child domain and explain parents and child trust in forest. Parent domain is a domain above a domain. For all top-level domains, the root zone is a parent domain. The root zone has no parent domain as it is as the top of the hierarchy. Child domain is another domain under a parent one in an ADD hierarchy. Parent and child trust is by default trust. Two-way, transitive trust when you add a new domain to existing domain. Both can use each another object resources. Define forest trust. Between two forests. This trust is not by default, you have to create manually. The forest trust can be one-way or can be two-way. What is Global Catalog? Define its functions and benefits. Global Catalog keeps partial information of objects. Helps to search objects. One global catalog is enough for one forest. Global Catalog is distributed data storage that store in domain controller. Global Catalog contains full object information where it's running and partial of others DCs. Microsoft not recommend to place Global Catalog and Infrastructure Master role in same DC. Define group policies and kinds of group policies. Group policies are set of rules. Main core and backbone of Active Directory. Control the working environment of user accounts and computer accounts. User policies follow users. A user account policy is a document which shows the requirements for requesting and maintaining an account on computer systems or networks. What user can do and what cannot. Computer policies follow computers. Security policies or rules enforced by organization on computers. Define two default policies of group policies. Domain controller policy. Domain policy. Explain two types of filters in group policies, WMI and security filter. Filters are selection of users and computers on which you want to apply group policies. Security filter is used to deploy group policies on specific users group or computers. WMI filter, Windows Management Instrumentation, is used for computers only with specific Windows versions. Define block inheritance in group policies. Block inheritance is used to apply on OU level. When block inheritance is enabled, no policies will flow down from where it applies to next OUs. Define policy enforce in group policies. Group policy is enforced at group policy object level. Enforced means that the policy or its settings cannot be overwritten by another policy. Once you enforce policy, it will break block inheritance on that level where you enforce. Define GPC and GPT in group policies. GPC stands for Group Policy Container. High level of information because it contains .ntds files data. Means who created GPO, what time it's created. Store and domain NTDS. GPT stands for Group Policy Template. GPT contain sysful informations like SID. You can match SID to change policy. Define GPMC and GPO. GPMC stands for Group Policy Management Console. GPMC is an interface that enables Active Directory administrators to manage GPOs from one console. GPO stands for Group Policy Object. GPO is used to control the working environment of user and computer accounts. Provide centralized management and configuration of OS, applications, user settings in AD environment. What is push and pull method in group policies? Push method we use to force policies from domain controller to user and computers with following command in CMD console. Pull method we use to collect or getting policies from user and computers accounts with same command.